Welcome. I'm Kari Akins with the Cheyenne League of Women Voters, and I'm pleased to have a candidate for the Laramie County Board of Commissioners here with me, and this is Ty Zwonitzer. We're going to find out a little bit more about Ty right now. So we will start off with an introductory statement. Ty, if you could introduce yourself in 2 minutes or less.
Sure thing. Thanks, Kari. And first and foremost, thank you to the League of Women's Voters for doing this and putting this on. It's a great way to get the candidates out to the population and give them some more feedback on who they're voting for and what they stand for. So with that being said, my name is Ty Zwonitzer. I'm a fifth generation Wyomingite, Laramie County resident. I was raised here in Cheyenne in the county pocket on Dell Range. Kind of grew up through the Laramie County School District 1 school district, graduated from East High in 2001. During that time, I kind of helped out as a kid and then as a teen in the family businesses of Western Auction and Z's Home Furnishings. So I kind of took that love for business and I went over to the University of Wyoming where I got my business degree in management. Then brought that back and kind of took over the family businesses even more, kind of got that active role. And we were kind of adequately kind of stepping me up as we were stepping my parents down. Then we were presented with a pretty awesome opportunity where my parents were able to retire a lot earlier than they thought. And that kind of left me in a crossroads of what I wanted to do with my life. So I, of course, love the auction business. I love seeing all the people and hanging out with the community. But the good old internet came around and, people didn't have the time to sit through an auction for 3 hours anymore. So that essentially gave me the freedom to kind of figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I decided I wanted to give back to the community that I loved. And I was able to get a position with Cheyenne Fire Rescue. And that's where I've been for the last 7 years. I'm currently an engineer acting lieutenant there. And I just love serving the people. And that's what led me to run for county commission. So right now I'm able to kind of see the goods and bads and the uglies of what happens in the town of Cheyenne. And I just love being able to give myself to a bigger cause. So county commission is a chance to do that on an even larger level, which is why I threw my name in the hat. And I'm here hoping to do some good. So thanks for having me. And let's answer some questions.
All right, we'll get right into it then. The first question for you is, what techniques would you use to effectively balance the interest of small communities like Albin, Burns, Carpenter, and Pine Bluffs and Cheyenne?
There you go. Well, yeah, Laramie County is just that. It's the entire county. And quite often, unfortunately, the eastern half gets left out, which is too bad. So I think it's very important to look at it in two ways. So one, you have to view each community as an individual. What are their needs? What are their wants? What are their successes? And then what are some of their weaknesses that maybe could be helped? So first and foremost, you have to treat each individual community as an individual. And those communities are actually what makes Wyoming, in my opinion, so special. It's that neighbor helping neighbor, that's a wave as you drive by kind of mentality. So after you do that and you kind of look at it on the individual level, you bring that piece back to the bigger puzzle and you look at on a wide county-wide level, right? What does that contribute to the entirety of the picture as opposed to just every little piece? So I think it's important to both look at the small communities and their needs, and then the bigger picture of how those needs inundate with the rest of the communities around them, for better, for worse, and then hopefully what you can do to collaborate and make everybody's life a little bit better.
All right, on to the next question.
I get talking fast. It's that auctioneer in me. Sorry.
Well, for question number 2, increased population and droughts have resulted in concerns about water shortages. What do you think the county government should do to ensure adequate water for residential, commercial, industrial, recreation, agriculture, irrigation, basically the needs of Laramie County?
Yeah. So again, there, I'm sure all the other candidates have talked about the High Plains Aquifer and the AMAC memo and whatnot, and especially the troubled areas, which we just talked about, which is really Alvin, Pine Bluffs, and Carpenter, kind of where that aquifer doesn't hit quite as well. So I think it's important first to figure out what we have and what we use. So through that AMAC memo, obviously we have minimum lot sizes and we have special requirements on those large bore wells for ag, but we also don't quite know how much those residential consumers are using. So in my mind, what we need to do is do another study. I mean, it's that simple. And luckily through the grapevine, I mean, I'm not certain about this, but I've heard good rumor that through the Nebraska Panhandle and actually the Board of Public Utilities here in Cheyenne have embraced a new technology. It's like TPE or TRE, where we can actually measure the aquifer in different areas and see where the levels are a lot deeper. So to there, I think we can figure out where that good water is, how much of it is actually there, and then we can start using that to then subjugate it, to levy it out to the different communities and the wants and the needs. And then we know where it's coming from, that instance, and we know how much we're using. And then we can also keep an eye, obviously, BOPU does a great job on looking at all of our reservoirs. They have cameras on them constantly. NCAR is out there looking at atmospheric research. So it's important to figure out what we have, what we're using, and then trust the experts to look at the next kind of steps on if we do need to tap into the Colorado River, or maybe we can just do some private water sectors here and there, because the growth is coming and we need to have, water is the lifeline. So it's very important to, again, look at things on an individual level. So I'm all about the AMIC memo, but in some places we can have smaller lot sizes and that's going to help our growth, which we need. But in some areas, we probably need to expand them as well. So I'm sorry, I'm going a little long, but this is definitely County Commission. It's a piece by piece. And how does that piece fit into the pieces around it? And I think that's how we adequately manage our water sources.
Well, thank you.
That was a long one.
We're going to do a quick break from the questions to go to a short feedback moment of flash feedback. So I'm going to give you a term and just your 1 or 2 sentences, first thoughts on this prompt. And your first prompt is public art.
Public art. I'm a huge lover. I have a friend. 2 sentences. Great organizations, Arts Council, bronzes all over. Trust in those organizations to expand. I'm trying to keep it short, but again, I would love to talk about that forever. Sorry, we've got some local artists that are fantastic. Anyway.
Well, so back into some questions so you can go beyond just the 1 or 2 sentences.
Thank you.
Question number 3 for you is recognizing the challenges of workforce availability and infrastructure limitations. What types of companies or industries would you like to attract to Laramie County? And would the Laramie County workforce need additional training to perform the jobs provided by the companies you hope to attract?
2-part question. So the thing I love the most about Laramie County is our diversity. And for me, I want to attract businesses that embrace that diversity. So I don't want to just focus on this or that. I want to really look at the business, and the most important thing for me is, does it align with our values? Does it go with our core competencies? Is it all about the outdoors? Is it like a magpul? Is it, we just got Eagle Claw and, it's a fishing. So to me, it's the companies that embrace our ideals and that are willing to give back to the communities. So again, the data centers just came in and we had that big worry about water, but we expressed our concern and they said, hey, here's what we're going to do to help with it. So I'm looking for businesses that are good community partners. And those are the ones I really want to attract. As far as the workforce goes, Wyoming has been adaptable its whole life and will continue to do so. So I don't necessarily want to say if you build it, they will come, but that's kind of what's happening. We can luckily plan in the future to see what's coming, and then we can properly train our workforce from there. So LWC is a great resource. They're very adaptable. We saw where the solar farms and the wind farms, whether you like them or not, were coming in, and they developed a wind farm program. We see this new manufacturing coming in, and they just built that great new building with our 6 penny funds. So in that case, I think if you build it, they will come. I mean, it's simple as that. You get the right businesses in and it'll attract the right people. And then we have the needs necessary and the adaptability to train the workforce from there. I would also like to focus on the trades. I mean, after COVID, we've kind of seen a new generation where hey, we need to get that back into Cheyenne and into the USA in general. So carpenters, electricians, plumbers, HVACs, and County Commission, road graders, machine operators. I would love to get into some more training there and maybe have some specialized academies or programs where we can run people through and help this big economy boom we're having until we can build responsibly.
Okay, on to the last.
All right, I need to get a time going.
On to the last question, question number 4. Sure. And that is, what do you think is the most pressing infrastructure need in the county? Why do you rank it as the most pressing, and how do you think it should be funded?
Ooh, good one there. So a lot of people don't necessarily know what a county commissioner even does, but it breaks down to 6 basic functions. And one of those functions or categories is roads. I mean, it's all by itself. When you look at our highway system and our road system, 2/3 of the whole state are county roads. And with our weather and about how it gets, they get decimated every year. So roads. And I guess on that means travel in general. That's the infrastructure we all need to get where we're going, and that trickles down to every other part of the infrastructure. You can't get to school or to work or get an emergency services there without roads. So yeah, by far roads are huge. Luckily for Laramie County, we've constantly shown that we're happy to give back to our own community. So that 5th penny sales tax is essentially primarily devoted just to road maintenance and special projects there. I wouldn't mind also a couple of one-time road projects, like the Christensen Overpass was approved with 6 penny funds. And I think some of those big infrastructure needs that the community was informed and realized the benefit, that they would vote for that. So there's primarily there. Otherwise, it's pretty much 80% funded by federal government, which is another one of those 6 categories of county commission is federal cooperation. So I didn't mention before, but I did work for YDOT 3 years in between the family business and the fire department, where I was a land acquisition agent. And I got to travel all around the state doing road projects and dealing with that word people hate, eminent domain. Luckily, you never really had to use it because everybody saw the benefit of the project. But when it comes down to it, I think roads are vital, and then the rest comes from there.
Okay, so we'll do one more flash feedback prompt. So this is the short one.
Rapid fire.
Under 30 seconds, 1 or 2 sentences, first thoughts, and your topic is public safety.
How do I sum this up? Near and dear to my heart, super important, quality people, mutual aid and collaboration for success.
There you go.
Hopefully I did it right there. Okay.
Yeah, so now we have time for you to go ahead and make a closing statement, just whatever you would like to share and want voters to know as we get closer to time to vote.
Yeah, so man, on that one, I don't want to sit here and say, hey, vote for me August 20th. Obviously, I would like the support and I appreciate it. But I think when it comes down to county commissioner, I said a lot of people don't even realize what they do. So it comes down to those 6 basic functions, and I'm happy to list them, but I don't want to waste people's time. But it comes down to you want somebody in there that's responsible, that you can trust to make ethical decisions and be financially sound. So when it comes to that, you just want someone that'll handle the day-to-day activities because people have other things to do in their life. But if something does come up that concerns you, you want to be able to get a hold of that person and get the full information. And that's where the transparency has been so big in this race as well. So I think when it comes down to it, a county commissioner should be a representative of their community. So just look at someone that's been in your community that kind of aligns with your same values and vote for them. And luckily there's 2 spots open this time. But regardless, there's a lot of great candidates. So just, listen to these, get involved, be active, please go vote, and just be a part of your community regardless. So for that, I thank you for your time, everybody for watching. And thanks again for letting me do this with that fun little email mix-up we had with my crazy last name.
Well, thank you, Ty, and thank you everybody for watching. And yes, the primary election will be on August 20th, and your vote is your voice, so use it.